Good
Good afternoon, all. On behalf of CBSE, I welcome you all to this virtual training session on OLabs. OLab is a platform developed jointly by Ministry of Electronics and Telecommunication, Government of India, CDAC, and Amrita University. Through this platform, teachers can learn how to perform various lab activities online in subjects like physics, chemistry, maths, biology, and even English. These lab activities are CBSE syllabus aligned and are meant specifically for classes 9 to 12. Today's subject is chemistry. I invite the expert from CDAC Mumbai to onboard our teachers and guide them through this session. Welcome the expert from CDAC Mumbai.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll start in a couple of minutes. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope everyone can see the screen.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. You can see the presentation mode, right? Slideshow. Okay. So welcome everyone to this session on OLabs. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedules to attend this session on OLabs. OLabs is developed by CDAC Mumbai and Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham under the research grant by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. In this session, we would like to tell you something about OLabs philosophy, what are the components of OLabs, how you can access OLabs, and along with that, demonstrations we will show very specific to chemistry. So this is the fourth in the series which CBSE has organized for OLabs. So we started off with mathematics, after that biology, physics, and today is the session on chemistry. Okay, so we'll first, I'll give you an overview of online labs or OLabs. So the project OLabs, though it is very, very relevant today in this pandemic situation, the idea was conceived and it was developed many years back. And it was around sometime 2010-11 when our ministry came up with this idea of online labs. And in phase one, which we covered only a few set of labs, we wanted to see the reception from the teachers and schools. And also at that time, infrastructure was also, teachers were not that much well versed with using OLabs. So that apprehension from teachers was also there. So we wanted to see that how OLabs is accepted, and to our surprise, it had an overwhelming response. And after that, our ministry funded expanding the base to other classes and even moving beyond science subjects to mathematics and English. So why was this idea of OLabs conceived? Why did we come that and it has been or practical experience testing is very, very important or crucial for science subjects particularly. And that is the reason from traditional times we are having a very significant practical components also. Schools are having that in the curriculum even before we had practical labs for science. Okay, so the issue is that though we have that, it is very much a part of our curriculum. Schools are very much, we can say that, constrained with the usage of that infrastructure. It can be lack or no infrastructure for labs in remote areas. There are some places, there are schools who are still struggling to get the good equipments or any kind of other chemicals that are required for setting up a lab. So lack of infrastructure is one major concern that most of the schools are facing. Shortage of trained teachers. We are not saying just teachers, it is teachers who are particularly trained to get the students best out of the practical component or practical labs. And what happens is that because of this constraints that the schools are, though the schools want to give maximum access to the students, it is not possible because often it is shared with many classes with many students. So that is affecting, having a long effect on the students. The students are coming out with a lack of practical knowledge or little practical knowledge that they learn. So the problems can be, we can say that, fragile equipments in the labs. So we cannot just give them access like we give access to playground to the students, that they can just go ahead and play there. You need to have someone to monitor them, to ensure that they are doing it safely. The safety of our students is very important. So there are these issues with physical labs. And another taking issue at a different dimension, it is that generally we have a lab manual, and there is, it's like the steps the students have to follow. So when they go to the lab, where teacher explains them about what concept they are actually practically testing, and how the experiment has to be done, the procedure is elaborated. So often what happens is the student, even in the ideal case, what the student ends up is, the student ends up just following those steps given in the manual. And if at all the student wants to try out variations or many other aspects of that experiments, it is practically not possible. And hence we can say that it is a very limited exposure that the student gets. So we can say that inadequate higher order thinking skills in mainly in this practical concepts or practical understanding of concepts. Assessment of experiments, I think as teachers you know better that it is very difficult to do, how the students are actually performing experiment, giving feedback to the students, giving constructive feedback. It is not possible for one teacher to do that for all the students. Okay. And teachers, I think will be all also mentioned. So in this backdrop, in this context, we have developed online labs for basically focused on schools, school labs. Okay. So you might have heard about the project Virtual Labs. Virtual Labs is for higher education. It is for college students, for but first put a disclaimer that it is not at all meant to replace physical labs. Not it was when we developed it, nor it is today that we say that it is a replacement of physical labs, nor we want you to get that message. So nothing, no sophisticated technology or advancement in technology can, or experience can actually replace a physical lab experience. Okay, so we assume that the student is going to, the main learning is going to happen in the physical labs for the students, but definitely it can play a significant role to augment and amplify physical labs. Okay. And so some of the things are like it addresses some of the deficiencies of physical lab. It is like you can infinitely do the experiment and infinite number of times you can do it. So there is no issue of consumption of a chemical or breaking or of some equipment. So potentially all the students can repeat it any number of times. And it is you can access it easily, maybe from or from a mobile or from a desktop or from a tablet. And it is also convenient because you can do it anywhere, not only in the school, but now, as I think some of you may be at home, you are accessing this session in this way. When we'll be showing demonstrations, similarly you can show demonstrations of OLABs to the students online also. So it's aimed to bridge the constraints of geographical distance and time as well. So that is the core idea of OLABs as it comes to accessibility and availability, ease of access and availability. But yes, since it is a technology can actually expand many boundaries of a physical lab. In what way? So there are certain things which it is not possible for us to show in a physical lab, or maybe even in the classroom. You cannot show that. Like for example, events that are occurring in large or small time windows. Like for example, demonstrating life cycle of a mosquito or some other creature. So, but with technology, it is extremely difficult to show that in a classroom. But what you can do is that in a lab or in an online lab, you can actually combine, it is possible to combine multiple technologies. It can be a video, it can be an image, it can be an illustration, it can be an infographic, it can be a flow, it can be some advanced technology like augmented reality also. And a combination of that, a simulation and an animation can be made available to the students to demonstrate something which is not possible to be shown in a real life. Similarly, invisible objects can be made visible. What does that mean? Suppose like magnetic field intensity is there. You can't see it with the naked eye. But if you want to see its intensity, then that can be illustrated using technology. Then some things are impossible to perform in real labs. Like for example, we all know how a simple pendulum behaves on the surface of the earth. What if I take the simple pendulum to maybe Jupiter or Mars or some other planet? It is not possible for us, but we can simulate it to the student with the help of technology. Okay, so so there are, technology opens up actually many such opportunities of going beyond a physical lab, or what is possible in a physical lab, though while sticking to practically applying the concepts. But we can actually show much more than that. We can illustrate much more than that, illustrate hidden things, and that is actually going to help the student in a long way for better understanding of the concept, for developing of higher order thinking skills, and so on. It also offers a scope for open-paced learning, or maybe we can say it's like a personalization, so that if depending on my style, my pace of learning, I actually learn a particular lab, then how my peer does it. So that all is possible using technology. So OLABs, what we have right now for you all is we have about 173 labs which are available, and mainly in science. These are physics, chemistry, biology. These are the numbers which are there for for OLABs. And we have also developed some labs in mathematics. So these are actually activities which are taken from the NCERT lab manual. There are about 25 mathematics activities. And when we were doing OLABs phase 1, we had got feedback on from language teachers that why don't you do something, it's maybe something like, it may not be a simulation, but some kind of interactive activities for students with instant feedback, constructive feedback will be useful, because that will help them learn some grammatical constructs, practice them, practically apply some of the grammatical concepts. So English Labs is an attempt to handle some of these things. Some of the pain areas in languages, in English language grammar particularly, we have tried to create interactive activities. So do check these labs. So the all the science labs are available for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Mathematics is available for 9th and 10th only. And English, we are not tying it with any particular classes because we feel that it can be actually, teachers are the best people to decide since it is not tied up to any syllabus. Now, all the labs, another important thing is that all the labs are available in 3 other Indian languages apart from English, that is Hindi, Marathi, and Malayalam. So, if there are any regional schools who want to make use of it, if their teachers and students are more comfortable with these languages, they can go ahead and use those versions. So, in that, what we do is the complete interface, the captions, even the labels, everything, all the messages, instructions are in that particular language. Okay. So what are the salient features? Some of the salient features of OLabs are students can, I think we have just seen that it is very easily accessible and from anywhere, anytime. So students can explore, explore the experiments, explore its related theory, etc. Conduct the experiment or execute it and can repeat that at their own pace. So it is not that the class experiment timing is something Tuesday 11 to 1 or something. So if I was not available at that time, I can always access it anytime, any number of times at my own pace. I may require, say, half an hour to do one lab, while my friend may require only 10 minutes. So since we both are separately accessing it, doesn't matter actually. So, and it is most of the labs are having interactive simulations which try to align with the real world behavior for that particular lab. Wherever, since it is lab, wherever possible or wherever relevant, we have included features such as recording observations, plotting graph, calculations, which are a very, very integral part of actual labs and which also enhance the overall learning experience. So one of the apprehension that teachers generally have for using something from the net is that whether it will be, the all the conventions, naming conventions that are being followed, or what is the different actual scope of the experiment, etc. Will that be as per my curriculum or the curriculum which my school follows? So we have used CBSE curriculum as the base curriculum. We have all the labs have been developed with the basic reference books as NCERT manuals. The labs have been verified and validated by a number of CBSE teachers like you. We have conducted marathon workshops wherein teachers have sat through, they have seen our labs, they have given or the convention that is followed in the school for as per the lab manual of NCERT, that is there in the lab. Okay, so that care has been taken, so it can be easily adopted if you are having a CBSE curriculum. And even if it is for state boards also, though it is developed mainly for CBSE curriculum, I think we all know that these are all the basic labs are available in various classes, in different classes of state boards as well. So only the mapping may have to be done. Plus, we also have local language support. So 3 languages officially we have done full for all the labs, for all the 173 labs. We also got volunteers by some NGOs who have actually translated some of the labs for some other languages like Telugu, Tamil. We have got that. So some of those things we have uploaded. And if any one of you also wants to volunteer, you can get in touch with us. An important thing is OLABS doesn't require any license fee or any kind of registration fee that is there. It is developed solely for teachers, for schools, for students by Government of India. It is made available for you and it is available for free web-based access on olabs.edu.in. Please do best use of this resource. And you might be wondering that why are we doing this orientation sessions, or what is the purpose of these? So this we are doing as a part of a project which is again by the ministry, which is called as rollout of online labs. So our ministry was very, very clear that just developing a software or some kind of educational content and hosting it on a publicly accessible server and giving free access to it doesn't mean that teachers are actually going to use it. So they have encouraged us that you reach out to teachers. Don't wait for teachers to discover the website and then get back to you as to how to use it. You reach out to teachers, reach out to as many schools as possible, and orient teachers on using OLABS. So when we started this project, we also observed that initially OLABS was completely on olabs.edu.in. We got a lot of feedback from teachers wherein they mentioned that there are in remote areas or some of the states like in Northeast and all, there are many issues related to internet access, and some of the schools also have electricity access. So in such cases, if we completely keep OLABS only accessible on internet, then it was definitely going to restrict access for many of the schools. So we came up with an offline version of OLABS. What does that mean? It means that you get an Windows-based exe. You can install it in your laptop or desktop, and without use of any internet, it will be staying there. You can just go through all the labs. Okay, we had also created a live DVD. Now we don't use it, but live DVD version is also available, wherein you can boot OLABS from a DVD. Okay, so these are available on request. So now contents of a lab. Today, if you go and Google any kind of lab, say Hooke's law or Ohm's law or any other biology or chemistry experiment, what you can see is that there are various, it has animations. Generally, it is an animation or it is a simulation. Okay. So what here in OLABS is that each experiment has actually sections which have all the basic things like theory, procedure, animation, simulation, and viva voce. So theory provides a very, very specific background on the experiment. It is not the complete theory because that is already there in the textbook. So, and the procedure to execute or the steps for conducting that particular lab in actual lab environment, because that is what they will be eventually doing in the physical lab as well. Apart from that, also how you can do a online mode. What we have is that in the online mode, there may be some changes that we might have done to ensure that online version is done. So as well possible, the online mode is we try to imitate whatever we can as much as possible from the physical lab. But if there are any changes, the online environment steps are also given. It also has some different access points, which it is important for the student to understand. Then there is this animation mode, and the animation mode actually is a teacher demonstration of the lab in the class, or so you can, it is actually like how you go ahead with your physical lab. So in the physical lab, before starting the lab, you actually show a demonstration of it. So in the online labs, the animation is nothing but it is automatically played by the system. So it's like teacher can use it for demonstration. And the simulation, actually it is a simulated laboratory environment with the necessary apparatus, which you can actually use to conduct the experiment online. So you can try out certain variations, you can change certain variables, and you can interact, or it is like a workbench which you can play with. Okay, so then you also have okay, you also have questions associated with each lab, some of these for self assessment. So the student can actually assess himself or herself after conducting the complete, going through all the tabs, that is theory, procedure, animation, and simulation. And the system actually provides immediate feedback to the student based on whatever has been selected. So these Viva Voice questions are multiple choice questions. So the student can actually give feedback, get the feedback immediately by the system. Okay. So some apprehension which you teachers may be having is that whether the content is authentic. Though we have conducted a number of verification and validation workshops, uh, it was also recently reviewed by NCRT, a team of NCRT, wherein so their intention was to, they wanted to link each of these labs from NCRT website. Though the complete website is linked, they plan to link it lab by lab at according to various subjects. They are also planning to broadcast some of our labs. So we have been approached to create videos of our labs and then put it, make it available there. So these are snippets from the review report by NCRT. So it has been verified by them. It has been tagged that it has been checked by them, and these are acceptable. They have given us certain suggestions also, which soon will be adopting it. So the next query that generally we get from teachers is effective usage, or how can we use OLabs in our schools. So earlier it was a pretty much a clear model, which was that you have your school, you have a practical lab which is there, and you can have OLabs possibly installed either on one of the lab machines, or it can be it can be your classroom, wherein if you have if you have a way in which you can demonstrate OLabs using a smart board or something, you can do it. So still it is also important that how you can actually plan to use OLabs. And there are now new use cases which have come up in pandemic mode, where all of you are actually conducting for the first time, possibly many of you are conducting sessions online or interacting with your students online. Your students are at home, and they really don't have access to any of these kind of equipment. So as and when these OLabs, technologies like OLabs have become really very critical and important for the students. So you can use it for demonstration in the class, that is minimally. So for that can be for preparing students for physical labs, or to reflect on any activities that are performed in the lab. So after the lab is, so first of all, maybe you want to prepare them for physical lab before moving to the physical lab, that is in the classroom. Or once the lab has been done, you can return to your classrooms, and you can actually ask the students, ask them certain questions, and based on with the lab as a backdrop. You can, another suggestion is that you can have a number of active learning strategies, using which the students can directly get involved in the activity. They can get more involved in the lab. In a minute, I will tell you about one of the suggestions, how you can do active learning in the classroom using OLabs. So as a homework activity you can do. So as I mentioned the example of simple pendulum. So doing a simple pendulum, you can maybe you have shown students how a simple pendulum oscillates in an earth environment, on the environment of the earth. Maybe you can give a homework to tell them that in OLabs, just go and change the bob that is oscillating, the material you can change, the length you can change, the environment you can change. Just come out with what are your observations, and then that can be discussed next in the class. So this can be done in the online. This can be done in your online classes as well. Then once they have thoroughly done this, gone through the lab, you can encourage self-evaluation using Viva Voce. You can tell them that if you're confident using this lab, just go ahead and do your, just take the Viva Voce. Okay. So, and then they will actually see that what are the gaps that are there, and maybe they can go back to the theory or the lab, whichever is there. So this is one of the active learning strategies that we suggest for OLAPs. So maybe the recommended time is 5 to 15 minutes, and it can be done either in your classroom. Let us hope we get back to classrooms soon. Till then, you can do it in your online sessions, like say you are and maybe you are doing a Zoom session for your students, or it can be a Google Meet session or like this. It can be a Jitsi session. So whichever video conferencing tool you are doing. So what you need to do is, first of all, share whichever lab that you have to. So show the animation or simulation of that lab. And what you need to do is, you don't have to play it completely. Okay. So just pause at some point and ask some question to the student. So do some activity at that time. What you can do the student is, some of the activities can be, you can tell them to guess or predict the outcome of what is going to happen next. What do you think? Make groups of few people and you discuss and you get back, or calculate the output, or if something has happened or is whatever are they predicting, they need to give an explanation for that as well. So here you can see that student open up, they start thinking, they get on to thinking, they look at the lab, and when you actually play the animation, that is in the third part, you play or resume the animation simulation, they see the changes, they can actually appreciate it, and they can actually remember or retain whatever they learned in this particular activity. Okay. And then you can have a discussion on it. So I think please do try it. I think this will be a really useful one. Okay. It will be useful for the students to try this out. So you can predict, so you can, again, it is step one will be observe or show animation or pause, do the activity, that is predict, calculate, or revise explanation, and third can be the discussion activity. So now which activity do you want to choose in this do? That is completely, you can design that depending on what is the lab that you have chosen, what is the learning objective of that lab, what you want the student to do, what you want the student to stress on, or what are the common misconceptions of the students. So with one lab, potentially many of these things you can do. You can have multiple activities also. Okay. So using OLabs or teachers, so how you can use it, as I mentioned, just this is a summary that you can explain labs before performing the practical lab session. You can explain a procedure, or using a lab, that is you can demonstrate something, demonstrate a phenomenon, maybe a phenomenon of photosynthesis, process of photosynthesis, you can demonstration. Before going to the lab, you can set an expectation about the lab by showing what are the apparatus, what is the experiment about. You can frame review questions with the lab as backdrop. This is after you have completed the lab. Please excuse me for 2 minutes. I'll be just back. Hello? Yeah. So these are some of the suggestions for the usage scenarios. So these are just some suggestions. I think you can come up with many more creative ideas of using OLAPs. Students, from students' perspective, they can familiarize themselves with the lab before moving on to the physical lab sessions. If they have missed any lab in the classroom, they can they definitely go through it. They can try the different variations which are available in the lab. Maybe during exam time or practical exam time, they can use OLABs for revision, where it is not possible for them to go to the physical lab. And the lab, they can use lab to reinforce the concepts, or maybe they may have some kind of apprehensions or some kind of confusions, which they can change the variables in the lab and they can actually try it out. So mostly for self-learning, revision, and maybe self-evaluation as well. They can take the Viva Voce exams also. So here are some statistics about the trainings that we have been doing. We have been doing it for last few years. And we have actually trained about close to 40,000 teachers all over India. The focus has been CBSE teachers. We have also trained state board teachers, schools, so 40,000 teachers around from 11,000 schools. This covers all the states, UTs of India, including the Northeast area, South India, North India, even Western states. So all the states we have covered. And so these are the number on the right side. In the right side bottom box is the number of users who have registered on the website. Of course, there is a huge load in the traffic after during this pandemic time. So this is state-wise, UT-wise status. We are also doing large-scale webinars, like we did one for NCERT, and this is also a kind of webinar which thanks to CBSE we are able to reach to you. So these are the important links for OLABs. The OLABs website, that is olabs.edu.in. Our team will also paste it in the chat box, so don't worry about just noting it down. And OLAB's Facebook page, wherein we put announcements about the next sessions and upcoming sessions, any other updates that we have, and OLAB's email address, that is support@olabs.co.in, and etu@cdac.in, that is our team email address. Here I would like to mention that we are also, since the lockdown started in March, somewhere around April, we started conducting this daily orientation sessions for teachers on OLABs. So now also that is going on. We have a registration, so that is yeah, anyone can register, any teachers can register for it. There's no registration fee. We walk you through OLABs demonstration, and we also tell about OLABs. So we also provide offline installer link to all the participant teachers. So our team member will put in the chat box the link for the registration form for our daily workshops. So you can pass it on to your colleagues who may be interested. So any one of the sessions can be attended, because every day it is the same session which is repeating. Here I would like to take this opportunity to thank CBSE. CBSE has been very, very supportive right from the start of the project. This was the first circular that was published by the then chairman, Honorable Shri Vineet Joshi sir, who had put up a circular for rollout of online labs, and they had recommended using OLABs. So at that time also he had actually seen the demonstration, and he put up a team to verify all the labs. This was during the first phase, and then they came up with this circular. So because of the circular endorsements by CBSE, it has become easier for us to reach to schools and teachers. So after this, in 2016, this was published by the again by CBSE, and it was for training of teachers. So they had encouraged schools to send teachers for OLAPs. I believe many of you who might be attending this session might be already using OLAPs. We always get this pleasant surprises from our sessions, our everyday sessions also, that I've been using OLAPs for from many years, and our teachers, our students are using it. So I think that is, if you are using it, then please, I will tell you one link. I'll give you one link that is available on our website. Please do add a name of your school, your add about your experience. Add about your experience, and we will be putting it up on the website, because your experiences may encourage other teachers and schools to adopt OLAPs. This is a recent circular. I think all of you may be knowing about it. It is conduct of practical work during lockdown using OLAPs. Again, we are thankful to CBSE for recommending OLAPs. Subsequently, KVS and NVS in 2016 had also issued circulars, emails for teachers, and we were able to reach out to many of their schools as well. This was the formal launch of the rollout of OLAPs, which was by Honorable Minister of Electronics and Communication Technology. Okay. So OLAPs, just a peep into OLAPs before we break for the demonstration. So this is how the OLAP's homepage looks like. As I had mentioned before, that the URL for OLAPs is olaps.edu.in, and this is the website accessible to everyone. Anyone can access it, and here you can see that there are these boxes which are there. Each corresponding to every subject. So for whichever subject you are taking, or you want to have a look at the labs, you have to click on those particular subject to enter into that subject related labs, and then you get access to the labs related to that subject. On the top, there are several menu items so you get workshop information, which is there, and training information is there, registration information is here, so please do access that. Then you have a language flag which is there, and in the language flag you can select, you have Hindi, Marathi, Malayalam, you can select, and the complete interface gets translated into the local language, whichever language you have selected. And here itself, you can, in training, you can also see the adoption of OLAPs. So please click on the adoption of OLAPs. I request my team to also put the link to that. If you're using already OLAPs, please do let us know and share your success story. This is a snapshot of OLAPs. As I had mentioned below, that for every lab. So for example, this is a physics lab with equivalent resistance of resistors. This is a snapshot of the simulation part of it. Okay, so as I mentioned, that the lab doesn't just consist of a simulation or an animation. It consists of theory, it consists of procedure, it consists of animation, then this is simulation part, and the viva voce references and so on. So here you can see that the equipments somewhere looking real life, or something similar to what the students would actually see in a lab. And so this is the area which is the observation area or the workbench area. And on the left side, you can see that there are these several variables which are available, which the student can actually, or settings which the student can change as per the requirement, and then start the experiment. You can also reset it and repeat it multiple times. Certain tools are also available, like for example, a ruler is available here for maybe for measuring the length. So as appropriate, tools are also available to the student. This is an example of a chemistry lab, which the demonstrations, Ms. Suman from our team will be giving you a detailed demonstration of chemistry labs. So here also you can see that it is it is having a similar kind of look and feel for science experiments. And so here again the workbench is there, so the student gets familiar with the lab or the lab structure. So the actual time taken for adopting or understanding how the lab works is very less comparatively, because most of the things are visual and intuitive for the students, and students are actually able to pick up these online things very faster than possibly what the previous generation had to. So here you can see that even here the equipments are similar to how a lab will be, and since in chemistry it is more of observation, you can also see a burner is there. And now maybe we know that what these things are, but it is properly labeled: moist red litmus paper, dry red litmus paper, blue litmus paper. So that is kind of an indication or a help kind of thing for the students, so that they don't get lost into just these things, or they don't get to figure out what it is. So care has been taken in the experiments to make it as explicit as possible available. Here you don't see an inference button, but after the experiment is done, you get an inference icon which actually tells you what was the inference of the, or what kind of observation that you have and why something has happened. That inference or conclusion appears after you have completed the experiment. Here is a snapshot from biology. In biology, suppose now you have a microscope here, so then multiple views are possible to give using technology. So this can be shown with the proper labeled things is shown. Mathematics, we have a slightly different approach because you don't have standard equipments as you have in the science labs. So in mathematics, these are the activities that is like verification of certain laws or theorems using paper cutting methods. That is what happens in the actual practical labs. So here what we make available in mathematics is we give a workbench area to the student and certain tools like cut a triangle, rotate it, or superimpose it, and draw a quadrilateral, draw a rectangle. These kind of functions are available. The student works on this workbench, can draw any type of triangle and then, or a quadrilateral, and then verify that particular labs based on whatever instructions are given by the system. And you can see that at the bottom, conclusion or observations or whatever actions the student has taken, that is also displayed. So as I mentioned before also, that care has been taken that the student doesn't get lost. Wherever required, feedback, instructions, observations are given to the student so that the student remains on track. Then we have this OLAPS English. Again, this can also be shown to the. I mean, you can share it with your colleagues. It is English. English is more of interactive activities. So you have questions, and you have there is a sentence to be converted to another tense. There is a word repository here. And once the student is supposed to create a proper sentence using the word repository, and after once the student submits, then the system gives feedback whether it is right or wrong. And if it is right or wrong, it is not just giving just right or wrong, it is actually giving constructive feedback, a feedback that is really where learning can happen for the student. The description of the what has gone wrong and what could be the possible remedy is also given to the student. Okay. Now, this is a snapshot of OLABs in regional languages. So just 1 minute. In English, we are having like tense conversion or subject verb agreement, active passive voice, these kind of things which are more grammar driven. This is a snapshot of how OLAB interface looks in different regional languages. So as you can see here, even the instructions are in the selected language, which are there. And here also you can see that even the captions are there. Here also the captions are there in the selected language, and even the captions at the top are there in the selected language. So OLAPS has been devised, or maybe it has been designed to ensure that you can also access it on handheld devices. Though we recommend, as we have shown it in this screenshot also, you can avoid using a mobile phone merely for the reason that it has a very small screen size, and OLABS actually has an elaborate specific areas or a big larger area that is there, that there is a workbench area, there is an instruction area, there is an observation area, and it will get too tiny on a mobile screen. So we recommend at least a decent size tab maybe there, or of course desktop laptop can be used for accessing OLABs. These are some of the insights of our trainings in various zones of CBSE. We have done it. Northeast region also we have done. You can see that generally we have around 1,000 users online on our website. Though we have distributed so many offline versions, still there is traffic on the online website that shows that people are actually regularly using OLABs in their online classes as well. There was a huge jump in OLABs traffic since then. Okay, you can see that. And we also have some international access that is happening for OLABs. So now these are some of the chemistry activities in OLABs. So when you click on that box which I had shown you, that is chemistry, you can see you will get a list of experiments which are classified into various classes, or we can organized into class wise organization is done. Like class 9 there is a bunch of labs, which is a class 10 there is a bunch of labs. So if you are a teacher who is looking for class 10 chemistry labs, then you can move to that particular section. Okay, you can move to that particular section and you get the labs listed there. Similarly, these are for class 10th, and the small icons actually are like a quick overview of the lab. So that is like an indicative representation of the lab. So these are the labs for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Now we will see a demonstration of chemistry labs. I'm switching it to, I request Suman to please take it over. Meanwhile, if you have any queries, you can put it on the chat box.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. So there are a lot of queries regarding this labs in chemistry. So I will solve your queries during the demonstration one by one. So first of all, related to registration. So many of you ask about the registration process for using this OLABs. So basically, I hope this screen is visible to all of you. So I am directly now on OLABs portal. URL for this portal is www.edu.in. So directly you can go to the portal, and at home page you can see there are different subjects mentioned here. So subject wise categorization is there, so you can select any subject to use OLABs. And for this using OLABs, formally there is no registration is required for using any activity in the OLABs. Sometime in some activity, in some animation, or maybe in some simulation, they will ask for you enter your registration. So basically this is only for the record that so many people are using this. So there you can use your any Gmail login ID, and with that login ID you can register. Apart from that, if you want to register with OLAB's website, you can use this registration tab. There is a registration tab on the top. So you can use this registration, and here you can see there are three different options: registrations for the teacher, registration for student, and registration for schools. So if you want to do any bulk registration for your student, then also you can do, and you can select from here the registration for student. So basically it will ask you to upload an Excel sheet where you need to send the detail of your student whom you want to do the registration. So for that you can use this registration, and suppose if your school want to register, they can also register in this OLABs for this option for schools. So basically these three options are there, but it is not mandatory to use without this registration also, you and your student can directly go to the portal and start accessing the activities in the OLabs. So this is about the registrations, and after that a lot of people is asking about the chemistry lab. So now we will see in detail the demonstration of the chemistry lab. So here from the home page I will just select chemistry, and we will go to the chemistry labs. So you can see this class wise lab activities are arranged. So basically what we can expect from the chemistry lab, that we need some beaker, we need some chemical, we can put some chemical into the beaker, we can use the spoon, and sometime we can use the burner. So basically all these apparatus and all these facility we are providing here in the OLabs. So basically in the simulation environment we are providing the facility so they can do the activity by using a simple computer system. By using a computer system they can do the activities. So here you can see for in the presentation also, as we have just screenshot you have seen for class 9, these many activities are there, like separation of mixture using different techniques, chemical reactions, Rutherford scattering experiment. So basically this experiment is also difficult because we need gold foil to do this experiment. So basically you can see in OLabs environment, all the facilities are provided. So I will just take one different kind of experiment and will demonstrate you so that you can have a feel how you do the activity in OLabs. So I will take first example, boiling point of water from class 9th. So you can see, as we have seen in the presentation, under one experiment. So this is one experiment, boiling point of water, where we need to determine the boiling point of water. So here the theory tab is there. So student can read out the theory before going to perform the experiment. They can just read this theory related definition, related concept about the boiling point of the water. So all the theories are written here, the facts, principle, law, whatever is there with respect to that experiment, that you can find under the theory tab. After that there is a procedure. So in the procedure also we have mentioned both the procedure, how you can do the activity in the physical lab with the necessary pictures, name of the apparatus. So basically this is also useful. While going to the physical lab, they can just read this, they can just visualize the pictures of the apparatus. So this is the procedure mentioned here, how you can do this experiment in the physical lab. And after that, how you can perform the experiment in the simulator. So some of you have also written that some experiment they are not able to do. So maybe they can just read the simulator procedure, how to perform that experiment, and then they can move towards the simulator part. And after that there is animation. So basically in this animation, the full sequence is given to perform the experiment in the physical lab. So this is also very useful before going to the physical lab. So I'm just playing it to have a feel about what is there in the animation.
Boiling point of water. We require distilled water, boiling beakers, thermometer, a spatula, fuming stone, a stand with a clamp, and a Bunsen burner. Take about 25
So this is basically animation where they can view the procedure to perform that experiment in the physical lab. So there is a voice also in this video with the necessary instruction written here. And after that there is a video. So basically video is also very important. So in video we are just demonstrating, showing the concept, how this concept is useful in the real life and what is the impact of this. So this you can see in the video. I will just playing this video.
liquid. When water is heated, its molecules gain energy and the kinetic energy increases. On heating continuously, a particular temperature is reached where these molecules leave the surface.
So you can just play this video and watch these videos later on also, because due to network connection the voice is breaking. So this is video. So basically this videos is also important because this is relating the concept with the real world example. So this videos is also in a few lab it is there, not in all lab. And after that the actual part, the simulator, where by using dragging and dropping method and with the help of necessary apparatus a student is performing any experiment. So this is one experiment for determination of boiling point of water. So here in the left hand side you can see the necessary parameter. You can change the parameter, you can select the methods, and according to the experiment whatever the variables are you can manipulate from this side. And it is the area where you actually you are doing the experiment. And there is a small help button is given. So if again you want to need any help to perform this experiment, you can click on this help button. So in this experiment, you can see I need to determine the boiling point of water with two different methods. So here in the presence of impurities and at different pressure. So if you want to select any one of these, you can select from these options. So I have selected in the presence of impurities. And after that, you can select which type of impurity you want in the water. So you can also select the sample for that. So I'm just selecting a pure water. And after that you can start this experiment, and there is a help button. If you need help, you can just click on help. It will tell you step by steps to perform the experiment. So first step for this experiment is drag the spatula to use this pumic into the water. So I'm just doing that. I'm just simply dragging and dropping, and I'm just drag it and drop this. So I have added some impurity in this water. So in this test tube, I have added some impurity. And after that, I need to use this knob to close this test tube. So I have done that. Next step is use this thermometer. So I'm just clicking on the thermometer and putting it at the proper place in the test tube. So this I can do. If we will do it in the wrong way, at if we are not able to place it at proper place, it will not allow you to place. So basically this is the problem of our dragging and dropping, or maybe if you are doing with the laptop also, so that keyboard is not suitable for that. So by using dragging and dropping, we can just place this thermometer. Sometimes if it happens that we need to put 2-3 times, we used to do this step to perform this. So I'm just using this thermometer, and after that we can use this uh, tube to place it to the proper place. So better to use the keyboard for it. Maybe with the laptop it is just giving me some difficulty. Just a minute, I will use the keyboard for this. So basically we need to put this thermometer on this test tube, and after that we can measure the temperature, note down the temperature for this. Just a minute, I will use the keyboard. or we will see first we will see while I am using the mouse, we will switch to the another activity. So basically in that we used to put the thermometer and we can see the reading for that. So we will see the different experiment here, that is a chemical reaction. So after that I will show you how we can measure the boiling point of the water. Till that I will connect my mouse with the machine. So here also the content are same: theory, procedure, animation, simulator, videos, and all the content are same. So directly for other demonstration, I will directly show the simulator, because we have seen the theory, procedure, and animation part there in the other activity. So basically this is a chemical reaction and we need to perform these activities. This chemical reaction we need to show, and this is the first chemical reaction, that is burning magnesium in air. So here also you can see we can select different activities here and different variant we can do in the OLAPS environment. So this first this burning magnesium in air. So for this just we will select the help. Again it will show you how we can perform this activity. Sometime it happens that due to network connection also it is difficult to use this drag and drop, because we are doing online. We are doing online this activity. So that is also an issue.
Suman, your screen is not visible.
Yeah. So I hope it is visible now.
Yes.
Yeah, so we can start this activity again. So basically it is a network problem from my side, and I am just demonstrating it this OLAPS from the directly from the portal. So here this is one experiment, like we will see another experiment, simulation of dry ice. So if you will select it, you can just see this ice is melting and there is a eye point. So basically it is a inferences. You can just read out the inferences, that it is observed that solid carbon dioxide directly converted to gaseous carbon dioxide. So basically here the reaction will happen. So we can select okay, whether this is a chemical change or a physical change. So there are two results given. So suppose if I will select it to the chemical change. So because it is incorrect, so it is giving me answer that it is incorrect. I will select that it is a physical change. So it is giving me the right answer that it is a physical change. So basically it this particular is a physical change. So we will again select this one, burning of magnesium in air. So basically here we need to turn on the burner first. So I'm just on the burner, and after that we need to burn this magnesium ribbon. So this magnesium ribbon is burned and we got the magnesium oxide, and now we have to test this magnesium oxide with different strips. That first is moist litmus paper, and second is red litmus paper, and next is blue litmus paper. So I will just test it with different litmus paper. Suppose I will put this magnesium oxide on dry red litmus paper. So basically there is no reaction happen and there is no color change appears here in this litmus paper. So again I will try with the blue litmus paper. Again we can see there is a no change. And now we will try with the moist red litmus paper, and there is a change in color. So you can again see the inferences. So it is showing red litmus turns blue, indicating MgO is basic in nature. So basically this was the result for this chemical reaction, burning of magnesium in air. So now we can select whether this is a physical or chemical change. So we can select here physical change. So it will tell me that it is incorrect. Now just we are selecting it is a chemical change. So this is one type of activity in OLAPs where you have different variation. So here you can see 5 to 6 reactions are there. So you can select any reaction and you can perform that experiment. And after that we have a viva voce section. So basically in viva voce we have added few questions, multiple type questions for the self assessment. So once your student will gone through with this theory, procedure and animation, so basically they have done with the content, they have completed the experiment. Now they can self assess themselves by this multiple type questions. So in online environment they can just select this option and there is a submit button at the end and they can submit the answer. So once submission will done, they can immediately see the results and immediately they can get the feedback for their responses. So here just I'm just showing you how we can do this. So basically this viva voce section is available in online environment as well as in offline environment. But in offline mode, you cannot immediately see the results for your submission because that is a offline mode. But in offline mode, you can just view the animation and do the experiment because that is more important. So I'm just randomly doing this. I'm just randomly clicking some options to show the this viva voce sections. So there are 10 multiple type questions and randomly I have selected few options for this question. I'm just clicking on submit. So on submission, you can see these are the correct answer. This is the incorrect. So correct and incorrect, you can click on the submission. So this is viva voce. And after that, there are resources. There is a resource tab. So in the resources, there are some resources mentioned. So these are the additional resources and any student can refer apart from this OLAPs. So if they want to view more content, read more, they can refer these resources. And this is also specific to the this lab activities. And after that, there is a feedback tab. And this feedback is very much important for the teachers because here a teacher can give feedback with respect to this particular activity. So suppose you are doing a chemical reaction and a teacher found that there are some changes needed in this chemical reaction content, maybe in procedure, theory or any other section. So they can give their feedback here under this feedback tab. This feedback is with respect to a particular activity. So our team is regularly monitoring this feedback, and if we found that it is your feedback is suitable and we need to incorporate, we will do accordingly the changes in the labs. So this is one experiment, chemical reaction. Now we will see other experiment. So we will see this one experiment from class 10. So this is one experiment like determine pH with pH.
Hello, Suman. Maybe you can take something from 11th or 12th because there is a lot of request for that.
Yes, ma'am.
11th or 12th, you can select one of the.
Yes. So quickly, I will just show you this pH indicator because here we need to find the pH values for different items. So we will directly go to the simulator. So here you can see in the simulator we have provided the strip, and also there are options to select the test from the left hand side. So in the left hand side there are options given, and you can select appropriate test, and accordingly the items or chemicals are available in this area where you are doing the experiment. And once you complete the experiment, you can match the result of that experiment with the strips that are available here. So basically these color strips that are needed to find the values, like it is what is the pH values, so that we can identify with the colors. So here these strips are there, so maybe you can match with that. So again because of network it is taking some time. So here there are list of tests, so you can select the test and you can perform the test here in this portion. So because of heavy network issue it is just taking time. Otherwise if you are doing individually it is not an issue, and also offline version is available. So if you have any constraint with the internet you can use the offline. We opt for this online because we can show more functionality in the online mode. Otherwise we can demonstrate from the offline version also. Yeah, so you can see here you can select different solution. So if you want to determine the pH value from the fruit and vegetable juices, that also you can select. From household item, that also you can select, or maybe salt in water. Whatever option you want to select, you can select from the left hand side. So here I have selected just vegetable and fruits, and the options are available. So suppose for with the pineapple juice I want to do this activity. So I have selected pineapple juice. Now I have to use this dropper universal indicator. So I will just drag it and drop it in the solution, few drops. So now the color of the solution change because I have used this universal indicator. So now you can match the strip with this solution. So I am just matching it. It is 3. So we can say the pH value for this solution is 3. So in this way we can do this activity in and different variation we can try out, because we can select the options from the left hand side. So basically we need to do the reset because we want to select again different item. So this was another activity. Now we will move towards class 11th and 12th. So we will take one activity from class 12. So in class 12th, one participant requested this test for the functional group. So we will go for this test for the functional group. Other experiments are also there. You can just see the list there in the website. So this is test for the functional group. Again, directly we will go to the simulator. So in the simulator, you can see we need to do the test for the functional group. So here again, we can select the type, which type of functional group we want to test. So suppose it is for unsaturation. Again, we can select here which type of test we want to select. So these are the different variations available for this activity. So I am just selecting here, first of all, functional group. And if we will select the functional group, then for the functional group, what other options are available that we can get. So for the functional group, I'm just selecting alcohol, and again for the alcohol also there are different tests. So you can see different variations are available under this OLAPS environment. So I'm just selecting, I want to do the ester test. So I have selected functional group, alcohol as a functional group, and now I am doing this test like ester test. For example, ester test. So in this test, what I have to do, so I can click on the help. So this help is telling me that drag the dropper to test tube. So I'm just dragging it. I have dragged, used few drop in the sample. Now I will use this another solution and will drop few drop of the solution in the sample. So now this step is completed and there is a next button. Click on this next button. So again you can see in the next step we need to just use this sample and heat this. So you can just use this test tube and put on the beaker and you can turn on the heater. Now this is just boiling and heating this and heating process, and you have seen the watch is there, it is taking some time, so 10 minutes is there, so we need to heat this for 10 minutes. Now we can put out this test tube and put it into the cold water. So this is activity is done, the fruity smell is produced. So this particular activity is completed and alcohol test with carbolic acid is presence of in concentrated H2SO4 to form fruity smelling compound called ester. So basically this is one activity where we are testing the functional group. So this activity we have done in the two step, so that we can able to do here. So you can see there are different options available to perform this activity, and once we change the test, once we change the functional group, accordingly the available whatever item we need to perform the activity, that we can show in this area, and we can use that chemicals, apparatus and other related things in the experimental area. So this was one experiment for the test for the functional group where we have lot of options. Now we will just quickly see one another experiment. So other experiments are also there, like there is one experiment for determination of EMF of a cell. So in this icon itself you can see there is a voltmeter. So you can also note down the voltage, current, whatever is required in this experiment with the solution. So that facility is also there. So now we will see another experiment. There is one good videos this for this basic laboratory techniques, that also is required, and maybe you have used in your manual also. So I will just show you what is there in these techniques. So there is a good animation for this where you can learn these techniques, laboratory techniques, lab techniques.
Bending the glass tube. We require a Bunsen burner, glass tube, and glaze tile. Take a glass tube. Hold the glass tubing between the thumb and fingers. Introduce it in a
So this is also there in class 9. So now we can see another activity also. So there is a one activity where we need to do some calculation. So for that, calculation area is also given where you can do the necessary calculation with respect to that experiment. So I'm just showing you boiling point of water, that I will complete it. Maybe now it will allow to do. So this was the experiment. So I'm just repeating because that time it was not able to complete. So we will complete it. So we can put the thermometer. That time it is not allowed because of the internet issue. We can use this tube. So this is now done. The setup is done. We can turn on the burner. Now burner is turned on and we can see the zoom view. So we need to note down the previous temperature. So that was 30. And now we can see the temperature where water start boiling. So we can see here when it start boiling, we can see the droplet in the this tube, and with that we can identify the boiling point of water. And here is the measuring scale. So this is basically the zoom view of the thermometer. So basically in the zoom view of the thermometer, we can note down the final values. So basically this was the boiling point of water. So some of you have mentioned that they are not able to do the experiment in the chemistry. So basically this was the problem that I faced today. Because of the internet connection, this dragging and dropping is difficult. So if you are having the offline version, it is better because in offline that issue is not there. Because in chemistry lab there are a lot of moving is there. We need to put the solution, we need to use some chemicals to complete the activity. So there we need a good internet connection, and if you are not having good internet connection, you can use offline version to complete the activity. So maybe some of you are also facing this type of problem that I faced today in dragging and dropping. So for that you can use the offline version. So you can see now this is started and the temperature is 100. So you can just minus this temperature with the previous temperature and you can get the boiling point of water. So this was one experiment where we want to show measure the boiling point of water. So same way other experiments are also there. You can do by your own. First, I will recommend to just read the procedure before going to perform any activity. And after that also, if you face any difficulty, just view the animation and use the necessary help provided in the simulation area. So this was all about OLAP's demonstration. I have taken one different kind of experiment. So you can also try by your own. And again, suppose if you face any difficulty, so we have shared our email ID and there are help contact support ID also there. So if you face any difficulty, you can just contact us. So we will get back to you and we can help you if you are facing any difficulty in any kind of experiment. So this is the language tab where you can just change the language and view the content in different languages. So this is all about OLAPs. So if you have any query, you can ask us now. So formally,
Ma'am,
there is
can you guide us a little bit about salt analysis?
yeah, ma'am, salt analysis is also there, but I think we cannot able to demonstrate because of limited time. You can just view, ma'am, there is the activity of salt analysis there in OLAPs.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think in class 11th it is there.
Yes. Okay, I'll cross check, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah. If you feel any difficulty, ma'am, in doing that experiment, you can just email us. We will help you out.
Yeah.
Ma'am, a specific session for class 11th and 12th can be much relief and help to all of us, if feasible.
A special session for class 9th and 10th.
Yeah, even I
11th.
agree, ma'am. If we have
Okay.
different session, it will be really very good for us.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, we will try to arrange that because daily we are doing the
So we
session.
are having this daily session. So if you have any specific, maybe we can announce one of the day for such. I mean, for class specific, we can do that.
Yes,
So
ma'am, for
otherwise, we have
11th and
daily.
12th.
Yeah, for
Especially
11,
salt.
12. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. And ma'am, please 9701 also, ASNA level.
What
if
is
you can.
9701? Sorry,
This
we
is
don't know. We don't know
Cambridge,
what is that.
ASNA level.
So is it different category of experiments or something?
Different.
Okay.
Great
So
difference.
see,
Great
so what? Yeah. So see, what is there is that this
variety of
lab.
experiment, lot of difference.
Okay. So see, we have these experiments have been done few years back.
This
Okay.
is a suggestion that you can add.
Yeah.
Because I
So
haven't seen
when
any
we are
experiment
in
yet.
phase. Yeah. So let me just finish, ma'am. So these experiments have been developed a few years back, depending on and we based on the grant from the ministry, and talks are in progress for the next phase of OLabs, and these labs actually take a lot of it requires a lot of time, effort, and a lot of interaction with teachers. So it takes time to develop the labs. So if you have any suggestions, please do write to us. We will incorporate it in the proposal that we are putting together, and hopefully soon it will be available on OLabs.
I have mentioned the checkbox 3 times.
You can email it to us, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
That will be better.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we have this daily workshops on OLabs, which is conducted by CDAC team. So I've just put on the chat box the registration link for that. It is free registration to everyone. And you can please register to this, and maybe you can tell your colleagues also. And if you are interested in specific sessions, do write to us, then we can declare some of the days as specific to a particular class and subject. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ma'am, from
Ma'am,
next
these
time,
workshops
separate
are
sessions from
free
9th and
if we
10th.
want to arrange for our
Sorry.
Ma'am, if we want
Excuse me, ma'am.
to
For the
arrange,
Yeah, one person. Yeah, someone was saying, and if you want to arrange.
yes, ma'am. Archana, ma'am, if we want to arrange for 9 to 12 teachers of our free, so is it possible to arrange?
For your school only, that is also possible. Just write to us for that, because see, we get a lot of requests, and every day we are training many teachers. Maybe we'll try to make sure that one of the day we will fix it only for your school. Okay. And then
Fine.
we can conduct it, or your
Thank you so
school
much,
people
ma'am.
can decide on one date, and we can accommodate many teachers. That is not an issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Archana, ma'am, I had
Thank you.
Yeah.
attended that workshop, and I have got offline version also.
Yeah.
Made the account, login there, but those videos and animations, when we just click on them, they just say that login to view them. So it is
That is
just
on
Exactly.
OLab's website, na? OLab's website.
yes,
Yeah. So
OLabs.
on OLab's
Yes.
website, yes. For OLab's website, some
No,
of the
not
things we
the
will
offline
then
version, ma'am. The offline
offline
version.
version videos. It is not possible to give you all the videos in the offline version, because it will be a huge size. Okay.
Okay.
So in offline version, it is the animations and simulations which are there, which is available on the offline version. And now we also have for various languages also. So for that, you will have to check on YouTube only. And if
Okay,
at
now
all we have to give you, then it will be something like it needs to be made as 2 or
it will
3
be
DVDs.
very heavy.
It will be
Yeah,
very
heavy.
heavy. Yeah. It will be heavy. And when you actually install it on your machine, what happens is all those things get installed on your machine. Your machine's size will all be eaten up. Okay, the size. So
Okay.
that's why we have
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a
taken care.
wonderful workshop.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, are the students also allowed to view this? Or is it only teachers?
Actually, currently it is only for teachers. You're talking.
This how to use the lab? Yeah.
How to you are talking about training sessions. As of now, it is for teachers, because we don't know how students will register to the session, and there will need some parent need to be available with the student to access it. So if you as a teacher are taking up the responsibility that some of my students would like to access it, and these are their IDs, or you can share the meeting details with them, then we have no issues. We can do that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, please do
Archana,
separate
ma'am, one more
sessions for
query.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Yes, please. Someone was asking a query.
Yeah, Archana, ma'am.
Yes.
Archana, ma'am, I was just asking.
Uh-huh.
Um, How we will come to know whether when you all are conducting the session, will it be updated in website only?
Which session?
How?
Class specific.
I'm like this session. Yeah. Class specific, or whenever you all are taking workshops or seminars to
Workshop,
update us about
as I
OLABs.
mentioned that as I mentioned that every day, every working day, that is Monday to Friday, we are having a session. Okay, so I have just put the registration link in October. Let's starting from today, from 3:30 to 4:30, we are having the session. That is the session timing. If you want any specific session for your school, you have a good number of teachers and students, then we can conduct it at the time that is convenient to you also. But these are the regular sessions. So if you know any teachers who are interested, you can always tell them that CDAC is conducting this session. Now I have put the registration link also. They can register to any one of the session, anytime convenient. Okay, any day convenient. Timing is going to be the same. Okay. And Facebook, you can please keep accessing our Facebook link. Suman has just put it. We keep adding all this our schedule, the calendar for every month. We put it on our Facebook. Okay. So now, like this was a session. This was a series of sessions by CBSE. So if there are any further sessions, we'll be putting it up there also.
Fine. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Please do try it out, and I'm sure that you may be having a bigger wish list of which experiments need to be added. Do write to us. We are constrained with resources, but in the next phase, we will try to incorporate these suggestions.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, any certificates provided for attending the workshops, ma'am?
This particular workshop, I think CBSE can tell you. For our the ones which we conduct, we do provide a participation certificate.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Officially, the session is over. Yeah. Yeah, we are giving you our email address also. Please do write to us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Do we get the details of the workshop only on Facebook?
Facebook, or you can write to us, or you can on this this is a permanent registration link of our website which gets updated with the dates of the workshop. So this one, tinyurl.com/CDAC OLABs. This is a registration link which gets updated every month. The calendar gets updated.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So if I think there is a lot of demand for separate sessions for secondary and senior secondary, so please do keep watching our So please keep checking our Facebook page. Maybe a particular week or particular days we can keep specific to secondary and specific to senior secondary. So group of teachers or students can register by using link provided on homepage of OLABs or any other. So I have just given you this link. For registration. Registration you can do from our website. For offline version, we are recommending people to use offline versions for the animation and simulation. It is a great ease of use, and you don't have to rely always on the internet connection. And if you are having it on your laptop, you can also show the offline version to your students. The session officially ends.
Ma'am, there was no attendance link, correct?
Yeah, I think there was no attendance link. I think CBSE team may be having your registration detail. So that may
yes,
be
yes, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was wonderful session, and we will be writing for different session. We'll be just mailing you all. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.